It's time for the Spoony One! Wrestling Show! It's time for the Spoony One! Wrestling Show!
Okay, we've had a day to think about this. I actually did not want to shoot this immediately after WrestleMania because I feel like I needed some time to kind of mull on this. So today Miles and I are here for WrestleMania. I got WrestleMania for his birthday. I thought it'd be good to watch, even though I was not fired up about this WrestleMania. But first, I have to get something out of the way. The last time we did one of these reviews, I was informed, and it was quite a shock to me, but I will admit, I was an asshole to you the last time we did a vlog. Asshole! I interrupted you, I didn't let you talk, and they're right. I don't know how long I've been doing this, I don't know how long you've been putting up with this, but I apologize to you, and I promise you I will not interrupt you. And in fact, I will prompt you for basically everything on this show. So, again, I apologize.
It's all right. I cook the food for you, so I get my revenge in other ways.
Oh, I see. Okay, so anyway, WrestleMania. I don't want to get on my overall thoughts right away, but this was not a good show at all.
No.
And I guess we'll just go one by one and give our thoughts as the show unfolds and explain our thinking on this. Pardon me. But first of all, The Rock comes out. And The Rock was awesome. When he was out there, he was awesome. But The Rock's always been awesome. Yeah.
It's just, it seemed to me standard Rock promo number...
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
Seemed like standard Rock promo number 32 given a time. I mean, it was nice when he first came out upon the announcement of WrestleMania and that he was going to be doing the show, but it was just like, oh, I've got to go out, smell what The Rock's cooking, millions and millions of Rock's fans, what else do I got to say, let's get on with the show.
Okay, well, here's the thing, even when he's going through the motions, and he was not going through the motions here, but even when he is, I think every time it comes out, it's shockingly clear how much better he is, and has always been, than the best talkers that are currently in the company right now. Like, even like John Cena, routinely blows a motherfucker out of the water.
I won't deny that, but I think if the theme is going to be coming out on what my complaints are going to be, it's just that The Rock, even, I'll grant you everything what you say, even when he's not good, he's great, he's better than any talker in the business, but still, this was a selling point of WrestleMania, that The Rock was going to be here, that this was going to be special, this is going to be awesome, this is the reason you're going to buy the show, and he just comes out and does Rock catchphrases. I just didn't...
I think we're getting...
Well, I wasn't blown away by it.
I think we're getting more out of The Rock than... Honestly, when The Rock came back, same thing with Brett. When Brett came back, I think everyone thought, oh, he's going to wrestle a match, he's going to be the Hitman, he wasn't going to be the Hitman. And when The Rock came back, I even came right out and said, he's not wrestling a match. He's not wrestling. They're not going to let him wrestle a match. Actually, I get the feeling he's going to wrestle a match pretty soon. He was actually getting physical on Raw, less so on WrestleMania than he did on Raw. But anyway, I don't want to belabor the point too much, but basically The Rock came out and said, this is going to be the most memorable WrestleMania of all time. And we sat there and were like, oh.
No.
You know what? It might... He was right. No, well, it's going to be memorable for being one of the most underwhelming and disappointing WrestleManias of all time. It's probably not what he meant. But the first match to come out was... I was stunned by this. Edge versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jerks the curtain.
I was probably more so. The World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, how the mighty have fallen have jerked the curtain at WrestleMania. To anyone that says that there's any kind of conflict in between the brands, no. It's the AA league when you're down that low.
it's going on first, and that stuns me. In hindsight, it probably... If it was just any other match, it was a good match to start with. It was a good match. But it's the fact that the World Heavyweight Championship goes on first. I could have sworn either the 8-man tag or Cody versus Ray would start this off, just because those guys are. You would think those guys would be more of like a high voltage offense, something fast, something fast paced to get this thing going with.
I thought this was a good match, and that's all. I mean, considering the people that's involved, Edge, Alberto Del Rio, I expected this to be a great match, and I was disappointed that it was merely good.
This will be a recurring theme in many of our match critiques, by the way. The fact that we say, this was a good match, but it wasn't a great match. And, okay, I'll just get this out of the way. This was a good match, but 2.5 stars?
It seems like, on the theme of recurring themes, this would have been a great match if they gave like 20 minutes on SmackDown. If they let them blow it all off and have the end of the feud match on a TV match. It hit all the right points. They did standard stuff. Nothing memorable. It just was there. It was good.
I think I'll actually finish what I'm saying when it comes to CM Punk and Orton, but with this one, it was good. But is it going to stick with me? And you know what's really stunning is this was probably one of the better matches on the card. Really. It was one of the better ones. Where I think they really missed out was the fact that Del Rio lost. That surprised me, because honestly, Edge, I like Edge. And Edge has been one of the less memorable champions I can think of in recent. It always seems like he's just been keeping the belt warm. And you really thought with Del Rio, he was kind of one of those guys with, for the first time in a long time on SmackDown, you kind of got the impression this guy was young and fresh and someone he hadn't seen before. A guy with a lot of momentum behind him. Something like that. You really felt like something new and fresh was coming in, and I was really looking forward to seeing Del Rio, what Del Rio could do with the title. This was the chance on WrestleMania where you got the feeling like something was going to happen with this guy, and this was the time to do it. You know, this was the time to make Del Rio a star. This was the time to really wow people and show him what he could do. You know, this guy really coming as a conquering hero. You know,
you're right about it. Seeing Edge is keeping the belt warm, just because even on the build up to WrestleMania, it seemed like the writers were unimpressed with what they had and that it wasn't selling, so they had to introduce other elements, like whether Christian was going to screw Edge or not, and introducing him. And when you're not confident in your champion, not keeping interest or selling matches on WrestleMania, seems strange that they would keep him going as the champion for this feud. Maybe they're going to keep it going with Extreme Rules with Alberto Del Rio and have him win there, but it just seemed it was a surprise.
That was actually, I was impressed. I was for certain Christian was going to screw Edge out of the title. So certain, and they didn't do that. And sometimes the best swerve is no swerve at all. TNA, take notes. I didn't like the booking, and at the same time I was a little impressed with the booking, where Edge won, and he won.
I completely agree with that. I like the fact that they didn't go overboard. The swerve wasn't no swerve.
Yeah, and actually when Edge won, I was like, that's not the way I would have gone. But I didn't see it coming, and it was fine. You know, so if it seems like I'm complaining about this, I'm not really. I just wish this is going to go down in Extreme Rules, and I wish it went down here. You know what I mean? Or just not the way I would have gone. I can't remember what was next. If it was the Orton match or the core match.
No, I think it was. I actually think it was Cody
Rhodes
and Rey Mysterio.
This was the match I thought was second best on the card. This was a really good match, and I don't like Rey Mysterio.
I haven't been watching SmackDown for a while, so I wasn't sure about the build up to this. When they came out, I was like, wow, huh, Cody versus Ray?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear of this at all.
You haven't been watching this.
And I haven't, and I'll freely admit that.
No.
But for the longest time, this was my favorite match of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly,
I was won over. I love this match.
This was good. And again, it was good. Like, that's about all I can say with Cody wins. Cody wins by taking the knee brace off of Ray and hitting him in the face with it. And the ref sees the bright fucking fire red knee brace in the middle of the ring and goes, huh. Oh, he's down. I don't know what else there is to say about this match. Again, this is another one of those matches where I go, that was okay.
I'm not going to take all that much away from it because I didn't like Cody beforehand. I didn't think he was all that impressive a worker, and maybe it's because he was up against Ray and Ray makes everyone look good. But this changed my opinion of Cody. I want to see more of Cody Rhodes. I want to see him get a push as a result of this. It's great when I want to see more of these two work. If they continue this feud to Extreme Rules, I'll like it a lot.
I think it's for. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
I think it was for the first time. What impresses you is for the first time Cody Rhodes has a personality. He has
exactly.
he has an intensity. So, and it beats the shit out of the dashing gimmick, where it's generic. I always call the dashing gimmick generic pretty boy gimmick number 2. Where I was like, well, he might as well come to the ring with a hand mirror, and that's basically what he did, you know. I gave it 3 1/4 stars.
I was getting a little annoyed with the commentary because I was like, really? Are we still doing this bickering feud at WrestleMania? Although I did have one of the funnier little gaffes in that Michael Cole is like, oh, don't take off the mask. We'll see how hideous he is. And someone else had the note, it's a clear mask.
Did they say that? Or did somebody actually point out it's a clear mask? Because that always puzzled me too. Where like,
I think it was Grisham or someone. Cole made that comment. He's just like, it's a clear mask.
that kind of confused me with Cody Rhodes, where it's supposed to be clear to us that he's not really hideously scarred, but he thinks he is. It's like Kane. You know, like
it's
Kane.
Supposed to be a Phantom of the Opera mask kind of thing.
But like, if he, why is it clear? Because he's always like, don't look at me, no, take the camera off, no, and it's a clear mask. Like we can see he's fine. Like if he wanted to like have nobody look at him, why wouldn't he wear a Phantom of the Opera mask? If that's like really, I don't know.
Maybe they couldn't make one with a chin strap.
They could paint a mask. Okay, but this I think the next match is the one I might be going a little out of order, but this was the match I was horrified to see, like just outright horrified. And you'll recall I exclaimed out loud, "Okay, the Core versus Big Show, Kane,
random character
Santino,
generator.
yeah, and 2 characters we set the random key on WWE No Mercy, Santino Marella, and it was supposed to be Vladimir Kozlov, but he was assaulted on WrestleMania Access and replaced with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston. And yeah, like the Kofi. Why not? So what was funny was when this match, I was certain the Core would win this match because I was certain they were going to get more than 2 minutes. They didn't.
You naive bastard.
I was stunned that a match on WrestleMania was going to get more than 90 fucking seconds. WrestleMania!
What's funny was, when they were walking down the match, I was groaning because I hate Santino Marella with a fiery passion, and this match seemed like it was made on the fly, and it just for many different reasons. I was just groaning. But when it ended in 2 minutes, I was even more offended because putting together a shit match, okay. Putting together a match that's not even a match, that just wastes my time, that's even more offensive. It's strange that I felt bad for the people I hate. But I felt bad for these guys.
It took their asses longer to walk to the ring than it did to have the match.
And when you consider that there were things taken out of the match, or things taken out of WrestleMania, it makes it even worse.
We're gonna go here.
Offensive.
Yeah, we'll go here. This was you didn't realize this till it was over, and I realized pretty quick. In fact, watching the pre-show, they were talking about Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the United States Championship, and I was like, I read somewhere that was pulled off the show.
I was pumped for it. And I saw it on before ordering, they do all the promos and stuff, and they're like, for the first time in 4 years, the United States Championship is being defended, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And I was like, yes. And all during the show, I'm like, I wonder when they're going to put in the match. I wonder when they're going to put in Daniel Bryan. That's strange. They played the World Heavyweight Championship as a curtain jerker. Oh well, it'll be on later. And then the core versus the 4 random people. Okay, it must come later. Taker versus Triple H. Well, that's odd that it would be after Undertaker Triple H. I'm just like, when are they going to do Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, Noah?
I'm like, they're not going to.
I was like, oh.
What? And so, yeah, watching this match, it's horrifying to think that there were a lot of things that were on this show that did not have to be on this show that we could have seen. We could have seen Bryan Danielson in a wrestling match against Sheamus, which would have been awesome if they'd have given them time. If they'd have given Bryan Danielson, if they'd have given Bryan Danielson time on WrestleMania, like, I'm sorry, but like that's like I can't even think of that's like having a concert and then we're like, we're gonna give William Hung 20 minutes on a set, and if there's time, we'll put Motorhead on stage. We're going to put Rebecca Black, and then, we got some time for William Hung. Oh, and Metallica. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're going to put you on, like, we're going to turn your concert into, like, you're going to go on at the same time as fucking, I can't even think of more annoying, Justin Bieber. You're going to go on set with them in a battle royal. You know, fucking, they couldn't even give fucking Bryan Danielson a match on WrestleMania. A match that would have torn the fucking house down. No.
So that's a minus for me, the fact that was a factor in me wanting to get this show, was watching Daniel Bryan, and yeah, you cut it, so fuck you. But to get to the match,
yeah,
it immediately, basically, they hit all their high points. They do a move each, and then Big Show pins.
Yeah.
Someone memorable.
Well, no, I remember it because immediately Santino starts the match. And he starts doing his shit. He does his usual wacky shit. And then all of a sudden, Ezekiel Jackson comes in and clotheslines the fuck out of the Big Show. And then they start going home. 45 seconds into this match, they start going home. And I shouted out from my chair over there, "Are they going home?" And you're like, yup. And sure enough, 30 fucking seconds later, Santino hits the Cobra, Big Show hits his punch, 1, 2, 3, faces win. And I was like, they just did a 90-second squash match on WrestleMania.
How much time do they dedicate to this on the TV shows? It's quite a bit of time.
Not much more. On Raw, the faces
Not on Raw, but I mean the core. That was the heel stable on SmackDown.
It's really the only serious tag team anywhere. It really you saw
and
a match.
This has the tag team champions, and it's got the Intercontinental champion in it.
And yeah, when you stop to think about this, when you stop to even realize the fact, Core had 2 championships in this match. They are the tag team champions, and Wade Barrett is the Intercontinental champion. And they got crushed by the Cobra. Really, like, I've said this many times before when it comes to the tag team championships. When Miz beat the Core single-handedly, you might as well kick the belts in the fucking sewer. Like, just find a storm drain and kick the fucking things in the sewer.
You remember when they thought Wade Barrett was World Heavyweight Championship material? Yeah. That lasted long.
At one point, you might have taken the motherfucker seriously, but not now. Jesus Christ, not now.
Well, they wanted plans for him at WrestleMania, but that just went...
Well, that was always a rumor that they were going to have him face Taker.
Well, not even Taker, but the Cena versus Nexus Core feud was supposed to go all the way to WrestleMania, and was supposed to culminate in a world title match to end it all.
Yeah, but we just watched the complete... You do not get more buried than this. You are no more dead than when you are crushed in 90 seconds at Wrestle-fucking-Mania.
By 4 random people.
It's Big Show and Kane, who are... Actually, what was funny was I always thought that the reason I thought the heels would win, if this was Core versus Big Show and Kane, I would have thought Big Show and Kane would have killed him, like they did here. But when they added Santino and Kozlov, they actually stood worse of a chance. Because I was like, they'll just kill Santino and pin him. I was like, but if it was Big Show and Kane, there's no one to beat up. Like, when they added Santino, I was like, oh, they're fucked. They are so fucked now. No, Santino fucking squashed the Core with the Cobra. You know what? I'm going to move on from here, because, like, I'm just going to get fucking pissed. I'm already fucking pissed.
We had 2 comedy segments that kind of bookended that.
Hang on, let me. The air conditioner is going on back here, and so I'm going to turn it off because there's probably been a hum for the last 5 minutes. So I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to turn the air conditioner off, and we're going to start again. All right, I'm sorry about that. You were saying
we had 2 comedy segments that bookended this.
Yeah.
The first one was basically another, like, Raw Idol sort of thing.
Snoop Dogg?
Where Snoop Dogg and Teddy Long... Snoop is apparently looking for someone to go on tour with him, so they had a bunch of comedy segments where people tried out.
You know, of any of the segments that were on here, this was actually kind of funny to me. Kinda. And I don't know if it was funny in that it was actually funny, or if I was just laughing as I was watching wrestling die slowly before me. Okay, so they had some bits come up, and it was highlighted by William Regal saying he was rapping and saying he was straight out of Blackpool.
Kali saying Grease with Kali. What else? You had steroid guy
singing Chris Masters.
Doing his peck dance for the 50 billionth time.
My favorite one was Zack Ryder singing Friday.
That was actually the funniest part. That was the part I laughed at.
That was the part where I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. Where Zack, because it just worked for Zack Ryder singing Friday.
You know what? Zack Ryder is such like an over the top tool. I find him funny whenever I see him.
Know it.
That's probably an unpopular opinion. I don't know, but of like all the attempts at comedy WWE tries to do, the one person that doesn't get any screen time, not really, is the one person I laugh at. Like, what was it? Like, there was a time when he was like #1 contender, and he was always like trucking around with Edge or whatnot,
yeah.
and that was the for comic relief, that wasn't bad.
Why is the air conditioner still on? I turned it off. What was the second one? The Rock was backstage and he met Mae Young.
Yes.
Was it the one you're talking about?
Rock was with Eve Torres, and yeah, the women's champion didn't have a match, but we won't go into that because
no Divas match, huh? If that sucks, the people feel for you.
I guess Michael Cole was right in burying him, but Rock was backstage kind of flirting with her, and he said that he could make a WrestleMania moment with anyone. Just anyone that went around that corner.
You fucking knew Mae Young. As soon as he said that, it was like, whoever's behind me, whoever's behind The Rock, I'm going to make a moment. And you knew it was going to be fucking Mae Young. It was. Again, The Rock was actually pretty funny here, but every second as I was watching Mae Young just suck up all life on the screen, I was like, we could be watching Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
They had to make time for this. They even, honestly, they even cut the core match short for this. And I would have rather watched a competitive match with the core. I know, sick. I'm fucking sick. That I would have rather seen a match. I would have rather seen wrestling on WrestleMania. The fuck do I know? Next match. Randy Orton.
Randy Orton versus CM Punk. It was okay.
Here's what I was talking about, where, again, this was a good match. And my own personal bias against Randy Orton aside, I hate the motherfucker. I hate that he's a babyface. I hate his promos. I hate the fact that his heel persona is exactly the same as his babyface persona. The only difference being that he is not currently throwing women through plate glass windows and punting them in the head, even though his babyface persona has openly admitted he would do so if it gave him an advantage. I have no idea why people cheer this motherfucker, but okay, whatever. CM Punk deserves better. He does,
and I find that the match was mainly enjoyable because of him. As much as I find it funny, Randy Orton's little heel character, his psycho character, that sort of thing, I've never seen a great match with him. I was never really impressed with this. He does basic heel stuff, which worked when he was a heel champion, but for the most part, it's just rather boring filler stuff. CM Punk is the person who carried this match. CM Punk is the most entertaining person here. And he's the only one that elevated to anything slightly above average for me.
Okay, and here's where I'm going to finish what I was talking about, where I finally kind of formulated in my head where I was like, these are okay matches, there's nothing offensive, but I'm never going to remember these matches. And I started thinking back on other WrestleManias and other wrestling shows I've seen, and where it really drove the point home was the Undertaker match, where, again, Punk portrayed a great character. They told a really good story here, where Randy's knee was hurt, but the match quality itself was average. And here's where I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to the Undertaker match and tell you why that match was really, really good, and this match was just forgettable. The fact that when Undertaker and Triple H got in that ring, I was not even looking forward to that match. Not really. Because I'd seen it before. I was one of those guys who was really underwhelmed by the thought of seeing Taker and Triple H in the ring again. And those guys beat the shit out of each other. Beat the shit out. They were... I think I tweeted that they were potatoing each other. They were hitting each other in the face. They were hitting each other hard. They were slamming each other through fucking tables. They were, they turned it up. They upped their game. Those guys were hurting each other.
I was another person that... It was... If you went through my brain, which is a scary place, so my whole thought as I was watching this match, I was another person that wasn't looking forward to it. And all during the first 10 minutes or so, I was nitpicking things. Oh, this isn't as great as before. I don't much care for this. I don't care for that. I can see them doing this. But as it went on to the end, I was won over by it. And I found this to be the best match of the show.
Oh,
I found
wow.
it to be a great match. This amazing match, actually, from the story. I thought it was great.
Yeah, so when I talk about, I said these guys were hurting each other, Taker and Triple H, like they gave it that extra bit. They did not just put on a TV match, and I'm trying to make it so that people understand me when I say this, and I know it's going to make me sound like kind of a jerk here, but they hit each other harder. They slammed each other harder. They did things that they never do anywhere else because it's likely to get a fucker hurt. Like the backdrop off the table. That was fucking surreal. Undertaker backdropped Triple H off the announce table onto the mat, and you know that had to hurt the guy. Oh, there's no way you take that match, that move without getting hurt. But the difference is, here's the difference. They put on a special match. They left it all on the line. Like, everything they did. Even Taker did his yearly plancha over the top rope that almost fucking killed him. It always almost fucking kills him. Every time he does it. You know, but Taker believes in putting on that WrestleMania match. Every time. Where he does that move where he is going to regret it. I guarantee you he regrets doing that move now. But it's WrestleMania. You do that move. You do that thing that gets you hurt. You put on that extra little bit. And that was the only match on WrestleMania where they did that.
Well, they made you believe that it was a real competitive match, that these people wanted something, and you felt their passion for it, and you could see through their actions that they wanted this. You felt like they were real people, real athletes wanting something that they desperately wanted, and they fought accordingly, like they were fighting for their lives. And it didn't feel that way with other matches. And when you have something like CM Punk and Randy Orton, these people had a few months in which people were supposedly crippled, people were terrorized in front of their wives. These should be people that plain don't like each other and want to murder each other, and WrestleMania is the only outlet for their emotions. And when they get in there, it's more generic, bland. This could be any week on Raw that these two people are fighting. It doesn't have that WrestleMania vibe to it at all.
And my point is, I'm not saying that these guys should go in there and hurt each other. I'm not saying that these guys should do that every time. I'm saying at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, you leave it all in that ring. As a performer, if you're not a performer, you don't understand maybe, but like, when it comes to the big show, when it comes to prime time, that's what you do. You put on a WrestleMania match.
Well, WrestleMania is the end all. It should be the culmination of everything that leads to that show. That's why it gives it 2 months. It's supposed to be the end of all feuds. That is it. This is the last time they're going to face each other in this regard. It's going to settle the scores. It's going to end the feuds. This is going to be the end. And
with Taker and Triple H, you believe that. Like when I was like from the first time the bell rang and Triple H jumped him and just punched him right in the fucking face, I was like, oh, he wants this over with. He wants to hurt this guy. Like with Orton and CM Punk, again, they were putting on great characters, but they were wrestling at like 80% speed. They were just doing moves. They weren't trying to hurt each other. You could tell they were working a match. And I hate to even criticize CM Punk in that regard, but it's true. And it's true for all these matches. Where like, it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. Taker and Triple H felt like for the only really WrestleMania match. And that's something that used to be like, if you watch other WrestleManias, you got that feel for other matches where like these guys are ending this. These guys are ending this now. Like this is like even Edge and Alberto Del Rio, which was a good match. it didn't have that emotion to it. They didn't put this thing in it where, like, you really felt like Del Rio was fighting for his destiny. Like, all this whole time he was talking about, this is my destiny. Like, you didn't get the feeling like he had this fire in him where, like, he was going to spring up and he was going to fight. And I just never got that emotion. And I know I'm kind of going on an abstract tangent here. I have been going on for like 10 minutes going on this abstract tangent. But that was the emotional core of WrestleMania, which I really thought was missing. And it just turned out to be a dull show. No?
No, I agree.
So,
I mean, they love to tout this WrestleMania moment thing on the road leading up to it. And how many WrestleMania moments did you really feel were in this?
Well, and I mean,
aside from like Taker and Triple H, there wasn't anything that. There was no moment. There was no leaping from the ladder off onto a table. There was no big move, no serious character angle. Nothing that I'm going to remember outside of Triple H and Undertaker.
I'm not even talking like a huge high spot. We're jumping off a ladder or something. But I'm talking like just a great match. You can have a great match without having jumping off a ladder. I know that's not what you meant, but like just this is the time where you have great matches, and they didn't have great. And these guys know how to do this.
What was next? Was it women's match or
No,
was it
they had
Lawler versus Cole?
Lawler versus Cole.
Okay.
This match sucked.
This.
And you knew. See, the thing
this is going to be probably where I start ranting about certain things. But
Okay.
The one plus is Cole and Grisham were not commentating anymore. It was it was JR, and later on it was JR and King, which was probably a better selling point for me than Lawler versus Cole. Was if you promised that JR and King would have been commentating, that would have been a better selling point for me than this match. This match was ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess I'll go through the description.
Well, let me. Before you rant, let me give my thoughts on this one. You always thought this match was going to suck. You were not very positive on this one, and I stuck up for it. And I said, "Look, this is about watching Michael Cole get his skinny ass kicked, and we're going to get that at WrestleMania. It's not going to be. It's going to be bowling shoe ugly." But that's the way it's going to be. And you're like, it's going to suck. It did suck. Michael Cole is not a wrestler, and he was actually not even capable of... I thought he was going to do some stuff, like a very limited amount of stuff, but stuff, and he was not any good. It went on... Okay, here's the end of my rant. It was too long.
Yes. The crowd was chanting boring.
This did not have to be as long as it was. In fact, it didn't have to be this long by half. All they really had to do was get Cole out there and kick his ass. And they dragged it out. They had Cole get an extended amount of offense on him. And they were really starting to tease, like, Cole might win this. Cole might win this. And you want to have a moment where it looks like Cole might beat him, but it went on too long.
They tried making this a match, which is the worst problem. Because it would be one thing if they worked with Cole these past 3 months to try to work on some kind of offense, get him in some kind of shape. I'm not expecting Shane McMahon, but at least know how to get around a ring. But he doesn't. He's still fat. He's still unathletic. He was gassed after 3 minutes, and he's trying to work this odd standard WWE match. And he got in like 5 minutes of good offense where he's working on King. And this was ugly because he didn't know wrestling moves. He didn't know anything. And was just kind of wandering around the ring, kind of aimlessly, planting, little kicks, trying to work on the ankle. And it was just boring. Boring. And the crowd knew it.
Yeah, the crowd was, I think, fired up for this at first. But there was a point where they started chanting boring, where I was like, okay, they've officially lost patience with this one.
And they should have known it. And it should have been like you said, where it was just King kicking Cole's ass and getting over with it.
This needed to start off with King kicking his ass, getting cocky, and then Jack Swagger picks his ankle when he's coming off the ropes, and then all of a sudden Cole's like, I got this guy, and he starts working for the ankle. Then, Jack Swagger gets more and more interference. This is going on no more than like 3 or 4 minutes. Austin finally gets a hold of him, stunners him. Jerry hits the pile driver, 1, 2, 3, over. Over. And they didn't hit the pile driver, which I was kind of surprised by, but whatever.
Leading up to this, I thought it was going to suck, but I hated it for other reasons too. Leading up to it, for one, you dedicated an absurd amount of time to this feud. This was taking up 20 minutes an episode. Not to mention the fact that they're commentators and they're basically doing interviews off of each other during the entire 2 hours of Raw and SmackDown. It felt like you were just getting hammered with this all the time. And it's for a feud with a non-wrestler and a washed-up wrestler.
Well, yeah, I was really fired up to see this match, believe it or not. And besides, the main reason being that this was the best-built match on WrestleMania. It really was. Like, I really wanted to see Jerry Lawler kick his ass. I don't want to see it anymore.
But I guess the main part of my rant and what I hate about this is, what really would have sold me on WrestleMania, would have bought my ticket, I would have bought 5 tickets, was if you promised me matches with any of the following people. Daniel Bryan, John Morrison.
They did promise that.
Evan Bourne. Rey Mysterio is in this match, but just the people that are going to give you kick-ass, memorable matches.
I'll tell you what.
And instead you use that time and you use that effort building toward a commentator wrestling with an aged Hall of Famer.
I'll tell you
that's what I was offended by. Or not offended, but...
I'll tell you what, we're watching the wrong show. Really. If you want to see good wrestlers put on good shows, we should just be watching Ring of Honor. That's it. That's end of line right there. We're watching WWE, which is more concerned about telling stories and stuff like that. This is TNA's problem too, where TNA has great wrestlers, but they don't put them out there and do stuff. That's it. So yeah, we're watching the wrong show. And seriously, after watching WrestleMania, I keep saying it. I'm gonna watch Dragon Gate. I'm gonna watch Ring of Honor, and I never do it because I never take the effort. But honestly, if this is the best the WWE can do, if this is it, this is it.
I feel like going back to Dragon Gate and others to watch Evan Bourne. He's not labeled Evan Bourne
Matt
over there.
Sydal, yeah.
Matt Sydal. I feel like watching matches with him on those shows, and I feel like watching, there you've got wrestlers doing wrestling with Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson as he's over there. It just, I want to see that, and I would have bought my ticket. I would buy not just WrestleMania but other pay-per-views if you promised me, if you threw me just a little bone of having one of those people have a match. Okay. And you don't give me that. You take the one match I wanted away. You insert shit.
Well, here's where it gets worse. Was Jerry wins. Basically, what I spoke of happened before. Austin finally got a hold of Jack Swagger, stunners the shit out of him. Jerry does the fist drop, beats him. Then the anonymous Raw GM dings in and says that due to Stone Cold's excessive abuse of power and interference, that he's reversing the decision, and officially Michael Cole wins the match. So what that means is, why is the air conditioner still going on? I apologize for the guys who are listening to this. I turned the air conditioners off. At least I thought I did, so there's this drone going on. But I'm going to get up in a second and check it. But this means, if you check Michael Cole's Twitter, they're going to have another match.
Guess what? I'm not buying it.
No.
Especially after the shitty match they had at WrestleMania.
Keep going.
What kind of screwed up logic is that? You have an awful match, one that people almost booed out of the building, and you want to continue it. Of course, they weren't planning on having it booed out. They thought this was going to last on and on and on, but I mean, people were getting fed up as it is, and now you're just going to keep going on with it. I didn't like it before, and I'm not going to like it now, having them on commentary duty, having another month of them snipping at each other.
I finally figured out how the air conditioner works.
Good for you.
I win. So I'm sorry you had to put up with the air conditioner noise, but what can you do? Next match was Taker Triple H? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I already went on a great detail about how much I like this match. That being said, here's where I play the bad guy. 3 3/4. 3 3/4 stars.
Maybe it's because of the terrible rest of the show. I would probably give it more. I mean, Grant, I know what you're going to say, that as a wrestling match,
Yeah.
it didn't meet up to standards, and I'll have to revisit it, but I still don't think it's as good as their first time.
No.
But it was still of the Taker matches at WrestleMania. This is among the best.
Well, okay. Here's good cop. This was by far the best match on WrestleMania, and I'm not saying that my 3 3/4 star rating is in any way an insult to the match, especially considering, again, these guys busted their asses, busted them. And they put on the best show they could put on. That said, the reason this match was as good as it was because there was a lot of history and a lot of drama behind it, and they were putting on a WrestleMania match. And you felt it, and that's what they put on, and it was really good. Now, from a technical standpoint, this match was kind of a disaster. It worked because it was WrestleMania, but really this was a really slow-paced match where these guys just kept kicking out of each other's finishers and laying there for 3 or 4 minutes at a time. So, like, Triple H hit a pedigree. 1, 2, oh my god, he kicked out! And they'd lay there, couldn't believe it, like 2 minutes they were talking to him. And of course, this wouldn't have been anywhere near as good if JR wasn't there talking about the history and the guts it takes to kick out of the pedigree.
I love JR.
Yeah, really. Like, if you had fucking Grisham and Cole on this one, yeah. But that's WrestleMania. That's where JR and the WWE are inseparable when it comes to WrestleMania. But this
I'll tell
match,
you again, that was a selling point. That was more of a selling point than Cole and Lawler was. Just if you told me that JR and King were doing the whole show, that is more. That made this whole second half of the show immensely more enjoyable.
Yeah.
They are so good. I like them a lot.
but really it was and they started telling a really cool story here, where they were kicking out of everything and nowhere else but WrestleMania would this work, because at WrestleMania magic happens. This is where you put everything on the line. This is where the characters do the same thing. Like, they start doing shit that's crazy because it's WrestleMania, and that's what you do at WrestleMania. So, like, really the last 15 minutes of this match, where, like, one guy would hit a finisher, kick out, and they'd lay there looking stunned for, like, 2, like, what the fuck did he just... Are you fucking kidding me? It was a pedigree! So he picks him back in, pedigree! And he, what the fuck?
2-man power trip, then a pedigree.
Yeah, then he starts taking a chair, and he's laying into him with a chair, he's like, and he gets a pedigree, and he's like, you fucking stay dead! And he's like, 1, 2, no! And you're like, And you're like, this is awesome!
I agree. As a match, it did get a little ridiculous that it was all... I mean, there's something about mutual respect, but it was just like, instead of just kicking out a person's finisher, it was, let's kick out of it 5 times. I mean, we went through every single one. But I agree that but it also made the story, too, because the story was that this was supposedly the greatest threat to Undertaker's streak.
Yeah.
And up to it, you're just like, yeah, right, because they wrestled before, even though they didn't acknowledge it. But it was so great, the writing of this episode and the storyline, that it was the closest you ever felt that Taker was going to lose this. And I almost felt they were going to go for that swerve. I mean, that's how good it was, that they actually made you believe that Taker... Because it's at one point that Triple H is almost... it was almost like last year where Taker was almost taking pity on Shawn Michaels. In this one, Triple H is in such a dominating position that he's almost taking pity on this old man of Undertaker before just putting him down. And it's only through just a miracle comeback that Undertaker is able to finally get this last win.
Yeah. But if it seems like I'm bagging on the match, I'm so not. Where I say, like, oh, it was really simplistic, they were just hitting finishes and stuff like that, but when this match was over and he locked in the Hell's Gate submission and Triple H tapped out, great moment. And then they laid there, both of them devastated. Taker had to be carted out. And again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to WrestleMania. Like, when he got carted out, he literally left everything in that ring. And that was beautiful. You know, and really they might signal this as Taker's retirement, because I don't think he was really that badly hurt. But in terms of a character standpoint, he gave 100%. Done. He couldn't even move. That was how much he gave to that match. It was beautiful. So
Triple H has to learn, though, that having 4 finishers is better than having 1.
Well, he used the tombstone, and that was really the greatest moment of that match, where Taker he's like, stay down, I fucking beat you with this chair, I pedigreed you 3 times, I'm gonna hit you with this fucking thing again, and you're not gonna get up. And Taker was like, you fucking do it. So he like hits the tombstone, and you're like, oh, that's it. That's like, seriously, that was like when you thought that was like that he was never in greater jeopardy than that moment. That was it. You know, that was the moment where you're like, oh shit, it's over. Now, I never thought it was going to be over.
Did we find out if Triple H was injured?
I don't know. Yeah, that was the big thing for me was, I never found out, but when he took that backdrop off the table, he was grabbing I think it was his left arm, and he was like, we were always kind of questioning, because he was selling that arm throughout the whole thing, and I thought he just landed on his funny bone and was like hurting the whole match. I don't know, but we were kind of speculating whether or not he got a fracture or like some kind of muscle tear or something like that.
But he was able to do all the moves during the match. I mean, he was able to hoist up Taker and do all different kinds of slams and stuff. So it couldn't have been. Maybe it'll keep him sidelined for a few weeks, but I don't think it'll be anything that's debilitating.
Now, don't ask me where they're going from here. If they're going to a 20th match, or who's going to wrestle who at WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't think they know. I really don't think they know yet. But honestly, the way they carted Taker out, they pretty much. If he was going to retire after this, you'd be like, that makes sense. You know, like the way he departed WrestleMania, like if he said we're done, we're not doing any more WrestleManias, you'd be like, okay. Because if you don't know, Taker is banged up, like irreparably banged up. So he put on a great show, and if this was his last show, it was a good show to go out on.
And if you want to know who won the feud between Taker and Kane was in the undercard and had a 90-second match. Who's the real winner here?
Who's the devil's favorite son? Yeah. Do you even want to talk about the Lay Cool versus Trish Snooki
bathroom break
match? You know what? I will talk about this one very briefly, because they didn't give him much time. They gave him maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes they could have gone to Bryan Danielson. But Snooki ended up doing one of the more athletic moves of the show. She ended up doing like a handspring elbow or whatever you want to call it. She didn't. You know what? She didn't fuck it up. She fucked up
But then it was immediately preceded by her fucking up the finish, which is basically she did this somersault and then
Warrior splash.
I think she was supposed to do like a backflip or maybe a shooting star or something, but she just jumped up in the air and was like, nah, fuck it, I'm not doing it, and just kind of flopped down.
It was like a cartwheel until like just flop forward. I didn't quite get that move, but
I swear it was like mid jump. She's like, yeah, no.
I was impressed with the. I've seen professional wrestlers fuck up the handspring elbow though, who have used that as like their finisher. Fucking China could never land that shit.
Again, my complaints is just probably of wasted potential. You had John Morrison.
John Morrison did one move.
John Morrison did one move, and really, I would much rather have seen John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler in a good long match than anything involved with women. But yeah,
I gave this a 1.5 stars, and that's being nice.
I mean, technically speaking, there wasn't anything really wrong with it. I just didn't care.
Trish Stratus looks so fucking hot, though. Oh, well.
She got a bike rack going.
Oh, man, she wears these pants that, man, she can't even walk in those things without showing ass crack. It's amazing. Oh, I love Trish Stratus. Anyway, I think then we get to the last one. Last match.
Yeah.
The end. First off, the video packages that introduced The Miz, especially The Miz, were great.
Mrs. was awesome.
Miz, yeah. And it made Miz look like that love to hate me, but I'll do what the fuck I want champion who's unappreciated in his time, who does what he has to do, who's hated because he's successful. Great video package. I wonder why they didn't show him on shows that were selling WrestleMania. And, you know, really, this was like a 5-minute package for each Cena and Miz, which, had you cut them, and had you cut the fucking choir entrance for John Cena, would have freed up, am I exaggerating when I say 13 to 15 minutes that could have gone to a match?
No. Going back, I love Miz's character. It's great motivation that he's a guy that worked his way up from being the little man. He was this joke on the real world. He went his way onto Tough Enough. Was some like announcer. You know, he used to do like host shows that weren't like, they were like Sunday Night Heat or all these little like run-in shows. He wasn't even a commentator on the big shows. And then he became, you know, tag team champion, this little middling, freaking niggling heel, and then worked his way up to Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion, then to World Champion. I see that as more an inspirational story and a story to cheer for. Yeah. I found myself rooting more for Miz as a person who really does get shat on by everyone, and I want to see him as successful. That package made me love Miz more than any other wrestler on that show.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really interesting about that video package, where you like watching that video package, you wanted to see him fight, you wanted to see him overcome the odds, and like you're like, you know what, like he is shat upon. Like
people don't appreciate
him for as good as he is, and I always liked The Miz. I don't think he's great, but I like The Miz. I like his character. And then Cena had a really good video package as well. And I just kept thinking, like, you know, had you put this on, really on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, it would have been great.
I didn't like the Cena one.
You didn't like
it? But then again, that probably tied in with the choir, and that it just didn't make sense. I mean, Cena has his choir out, and it's just random doodling. It's not even a song. It's just a woman going, hey, well, and then it leads into this video segment where Cena's praying that he can lead people to Jesus in his lifetime, and he can be a good soldier in this life. And
it's a spiritual thing. It's kind of put over the fact that he's spiritual.
He's never been put over as spiritual.
Okay.
Ever.
Well,
I mean, it's just, he's always played the Marine.
Okay,
he's always played everyone else. It came out of nowhere.
Okay. I liked the video package. I did not like the choir. Especially, I think I said, like, Cena's activated God mode. I thought for sure Cena was walking with the title here just because you never bet against Cena, especially not at Mania. But
especially not with new merch.
Yeah, he had new merch. I thought Miz was so fucked. Cena came out with the red, white, and blue merch. I was like, oh, snap! Miz is helpless before this power.
It's like Superman when he flies up and takes power from the sun.
Yeah, he flies up, he's just charged. He's like, ah! He goes. The power of the merch, man, that's so hard to overcome. You know, I like the red stuff. That purple shit.
He took a lesson from Rock and that he looked Fruity Pebbles.
No, I don't mean to go out of it. I hated it before the Fruity Pebbles thing, but he just looked like such a dork wearing purple. Purple and yellow, man. I don't,
orange yeah.
And I'm amazed that people didn't turn on him. Like, seriously, the purple and yellow are Lakers colors. And it's not that I have a problem with the Lakers, but pretty much everyone in the world has a problem with the Lakers who's not in Los Angeles. So, like, I'm amazed that Cena could just bop into, like, Houston wearing Lakers colors, and people go, yay! I don't know, man. That always bothered me. But, anyway. So, they have this match, and people are going to interpret this as me picking on Cena and picking on Miz. And I'm so not coming from there when I say that this match sucked. This match sucked.
And you were mentioning that Miz maybe didn't impress you earlier, and I was about to chime in saying he's not a good wrestler, but that's not the case because leading up to WrestleMania, he had an amazing match with Jerry Lawler. He had an amazing match with John Morrison.
Yeah, that was a great match.
And he had a great match with Daniel Bryan. It all depends on who he's wrestling. And if you had any of those matches as the WrestleMania match, that would have been, maybe except for the King one, but if you had any of those as the real WrestleMania match, it would have been great. But when you have someone like Cena, Cena depends on who he's wrestling too, because he's not carrying a match,
right?
And he's not doing it. So you have two people that are kind of dependent on someone else to make them look good.
Yes.
And when you put them both together, it's bad.
Yeah, you've got two guys who are average to below average, who and my point, but you said it, that like the reason that Miz had great matches with John Morrison and Daniel Bryan is that both of those guys are terrific wrestlers, like really good. And again, you'd think I'm bashing Miz and I'm bashing Cena. I'm not. They can have great matches, and they have. But you put those guys together, and they suck. And you know what? Cena usually ups his game for like, as much as I bash Cena for being average, he is one of those guys who, whenever there's a pay-per-view, ups his game, and ups it a lot. He did not do that this WrestleMania. And this was shocking. We were stunned at how bad this match was. Like, we actually said, like, about 5 minutes into this match, I actually said to you, like, I don't mean to be a killjoy, but this match is kind of sitting on my head. And you're like, you were kind of rubbing your head like, yeah, this match sucks. And
we're not even talking about the ending. We're
not
even getting
no.
up to the ending. We're just talking about the match itself before any of the shenanigans happened.
This was a really bad match, and I'll explain why. Cena was terrible. And he's usually not, again, I say he's average, he's usually not this bad. He was bad.
What I mentioned this before, and you know something's wrong when the commentators are trying to cover.
Yeah.
Cena was so bad that the commentators were trying to sell the fact that this was some kind of game plan by Miz. And when they're trying to go off the cuff like that, it really shows that they're desperate and trying to cover for a shitty match.
Yeah. Cena was lethargic. He looked honestly lost. Like he didn't know what to do next. He was slow. He looked confused. I've heard some people speculate that he got a concussion in this match because he acted like it. You know, and the commentators throughout this entire match were desperately trying to cover for the fact this match was not any good.
They're like, Miz got in his head.
Yeah.
Clearly, something happened because he's not like this. He must have been.
They said his equilibrium had been thrown off from some move that was sustained earlier in the match. I think Miz hit a DDT early in the match, and they're like, his equilibrium must really be off. You know, and there was this really obviously blown spot where I think Miz was supposed to duck his flying shoulder tackle, but either Miz dropped too early or Cena tripped over him and overcommitted to the spot. But Cena goes sailing out of the ring, and the announcers go "Oh man, his equilibrium must be completely shot. I don't know what's come over John Cena. He must be really off his game." And I'm like, "You think?" But yeah, this match really had to be seen to be believed. Even for John Cena, whether you like the guy or you hate the guy, he puts on better matches than this.
And also, I mentioned before, leading up to it, you have like 2 months or something like that leading up to WrestleMania, where even like Taker and Triple H, they couldn't wrestle a straight match, so they had to work something out, basically a hardcore match, which is fine. You work around people's weaknesses, but it seemed like these people were just making up the matches they were going along. Like they had no game plan, and they were just working any regular TV match.
That goes back to what I thought Cena might have got a concussion at some point. Somebody said, like, on the spot where Miz did his clothesline in the corner and kind of, like, lounges on the middle rope, they said that they thought he got a concussion there. And maybe the match went out the window at that point where, like, he hurt it. Either he got a concussion or he hurt his neck. And that might have thrown... I've actually heard a theory that I don't want to accuse John Cena of this. I hate to even repeat it, but I will. Some people said that Cena was in full-on pouting mode because he heard that he was not winning the title at WrestleMania, and so he intentionally turned in a shitty performance to bury The Miz. I don't want to go that far. I really don't, because I don't think John Cena is like that.
Cena's a pretty hard-line company, man, and I haven't seen any history of that before where he's been like that.
To accuse him of tanking WrestleMania... I hate to go there. Shawn Michaels has done this. Not at WrestleMania, but he has done this, by the way, for Hulk Hogan.
That's a funny match.
Shawn Michaels did torpedo Hulk Hogan by overselling the fuck out of that match. I just don't think John Cena did that. Maybe, I don't know.
You could see it more from Shawn Michaels. Again, there's a history of that. I haven't seen a history of John Cena doing that. He doesn't seem like the super emotional type, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he possibly was concussed or injured in some way.
Okay.
I'm willing to give him more of the benefit of the doubt on that.
Okay, now here's where we get to... what really left us, what is the most memorable part of this WrestleMania. The most memorable WrestleMania of all time. The fucking ending. Okay. So what happens is, John Cena is basically shambling his way through this match. And they're fighting outside, and I saw this coming from a fair amount of way. Because the referee starts counting them out, and then John Cena breaks up the count, by rolling back in another ring, and then he clotheslines. He starts beating the shit out of the Miz outside the ring, and he clotheslines him over the barricade, and it looked like Miz kind of hit his head. I don't know, but the ref counts to 10, double count out, and you were pretty much horrified, and Twitter was pretty much horrified. I knew The Rock was coming out.
No, I knew Rock was gonna... I mean, that was the whole point of the build-up to WrestleMania, was that Rock was gonna do something.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of what.
But if you really thought the match was gonna end on a double count-out, you're completely stupid. You've never watched wrestling in your life.
But it was quick. I mean, it wasn't like they had a 20-minute match and then this happened and then Rock was gonna do something. This was 5 minutes or so.
But the fact that a WrestleMania main event ended in a double countout. It didn't end there, but the fact that it did originally end in a double fucking countout is just about... It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in WrestleMania. It's really, really stupid. It pissed off the crowd. It pretty much turned them against the entire show. So Rock comes out and he says it's not going to end this way. It doesn't matter what the Raw GM dings in. He throws the laptop aside. It doesn't matter what you think. And so he says we're gonna start this match again. No count out, no DQ, no time limit. Street fight rules basically. So then I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna kick this into phase 2. Like now we're gonna have the match. Now is the time where the Miz and Alex Riley start cheating like sons of bitches and start putting Cena on the defensive, and this is where Cena overcomes the odds. And just as soon as I'm formulating this thought in my head, Rock gets in the ring, rock bottom Cena, 1, 2, 3. Over. end. Like, not even 30 seconds passed between bell to bell.
The whole match, if we're not counting the time in between Rock coming out and all that, it was like 6 minutes. I mean, it wasn't,
I don't know how long it was, but you might be right. You're
Just-
probably right.
I'm not counting like him walking down and talking. I'm just talking about like the match beforehand and the 30 seconds of him getting rock bottom and pinned. Like all told, all wrestling that you're seeing from the WrestleMania main event, it's about 6 minutes or so.
The fact that it ends in a double countout, and then the fact that basically just ends that way, this was fucking insulting. Really. Like, it was insulting to the people who paid money for this. The fact that it ended, basically ended twice, both ways, were overbooked and insulting, at a time where this is the time where you should be putting on great matches, you should be putting on conclusive end-of-feud results, and it ends with a double countout and a rock bottom, setting up a match, really, between John Cena and The Rock, doing nothing for The Miz, because not only did The Miz look like once again, completely undeserving as a champion, he got crushed by The Rock as well, because The Rock hit the people's elbow on his dumb ass.
Again, Miz is the odd man out in this feud. The World Heavyweight Champion is the odd man out. And that was my problem leading up to it. I don't have a problem with John and his no selling. Well, I do, but you get used to it, that sort of thing. But my whole problem with this leading up to it is your World Heavyweight Champion is useless in leading up to this. It's all about what's Rock and Cena going to do. Yeah. And Miz is off. It's like way in the background going, hello.
They tried to make Miz as relevant as possible, kicking John Cena's ass, week after week throughout this feud, but the whole time it wasn't like, what's Miz going to do? It's, how is The Rock going to respond? How is John Cena going to respond to The Rock? It was always all about The Rock. And that's no bad thing, except for the fact that it was all at the expense of the World Heavyweight Champion, and still is. He really is. He does not. Basically, he's the world champion who does not belong in this world championship feud.
I mean, he's not getting buried because he's getting beat in the ring.
Well, he is, but
he's getting buried because he doesn't matter. That you felt that, if John really cared enough, he could beat him no problem. But he cares more about The Rock than this little pissant. That's the true.
As well, he should, is because The Rock is a much bigger star than The Miz. But yeah, we're gonna wind this up, I think. But basically, this world title match was a piece of shit before the shitty finish. It was a piece of shit after the shitty finish. It was offensive to me, who paid $55 for it. It was offensive to the people who flew cross country to see this show. It was offensive to the hardcore wrestling fans who usually come to see WrestleMania. It was offensive to the legacy of WrestleMania, and it was offensive to me personally because it was not entertaining. It was poorly wrestled, poorly booked, and it was memorable only in how crappy it was. Minus 3 3/4 stars. I'm done.
We were mentioning that we're banning about the idea that this was possibly the worst WrestleMania main event ever.
Yeah.
Not talking about match, the main event, the end of the card, the world title match, that sort of thing. And I'm damned if I can't come up with something worse.
Can you come up with anything close? Because the only main event that I can think of that pissed me off nearly as much was the Bret Yoko WrestleMania match, where Bret lost to Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan challenges Yokozuna to a match, and beats Yoko in like 8 seconds.
I still, even though the ending was like a strange TNA ending, which was odd for WrestleMania in the 90s, but overbooked. But even the match itself, while it wasn't anything stupendous, it was still watchable. Any kind of Bret Hart match is somewhat watchable. And, even though the finish sucked, I was still able to watch the rest of it. It was fine.
Somebody asked if I thought this was... When I posted on Twitter minus 3 3/4 stars for this match, they're like, is it minus 5 stars? No. What would it have taken for it to be -5 stars? I don't know. You know what it would have been for -5 stars? If they actually had ended on the double count out. And I'm not sure what elevates why the Rock's... At least there was a finish to the match when the Rock came out and restarted the match. Like, if they ended a WrestleMania main event with a double count out and they said, that's it, go home, I'd have been like, wow, that was brutal. That would have been a complete waste of time.
Yes, but...
I hate to bust out -5 stars unless the action was just unsalvageable. Like if it was just atrociously painful to watch, like Jenna Maraska was atrociously painful to watch. These guys executed moves successfully for the most part, although Cena was a fucking just terrible.
It was still bad.
It was still really bad. I can't go -5 stars.
It's close, though. I mean,
It just... Okay, from a wrestling standpoint, dud. Wrestling standpoint, just a dud match. It basically might as well not have even started because both the wrestlers were off. They did not wrestle a good match. It was not good. But the booking at the end was really what propelled it into negative star territory. Yeah.
just the fact it's WrestleMania and, you know...
I can't go -5 stars though. Yeah, it would have to be shitty. Like if Snooki, seriously, like if Snooki walked out with the title, you know, that would have been a -5 star match. You know, as bad as it was, it could have been worse, but not much.
And it is based on expectations, but yeah, you bill this as the big thing, the big culminating event, and the big culminating match. This is supposed to be so great that we're saving the best for last.
Yeah.
And then you drop a steaming turd on your face.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Really, it was, you know, I've seen worse matches, and there might have been worse. There were, actually, you know what, I even turn around the core match as being a worse match, but at least that was over in 90 seconds. You know, this match was the WrestleMania main event. It was supposed to be the best match on the card. They saved it for last. And as a WrestleMania main event, this was a colossal disappointment. So yeah, disappointment, big time. Any last thoughts?
It was a bad birthday present.
It makes me feel bad about it now. I'm getting you Ring of Honor next time, you know that?
That's better.
I'll get you Ring of Honor next time. I got Dragon Gate DVDs, you want to watch those. Those are better. Oh, God. So, yeah. WrestleMania, man. That's about all I got. Do you have any... Okay, let me ask you closing thoughts on this one. Are there any, like, star ratings that you outright disagree with? Like, seriously, like, I don't mean to browbeat you with my main event rating, but what would you, like, star rating on the main event? The two main events, really, like Del Rio and Cena.
Del Rio versus Edge, probably 2 3/4, and I find that generous. I mean, like I said, it was good, kind of. I mean,
yeah,
that's all I can kind of muster for it. There was no great spots. There was no great.
There was one spot I remember, and I'll even probably forget this spot where Edge had, or Alberto had Edge in the armbar. And he was, like, it was looking really grim for him, and that was, like, the big moment where you thought Edge might tap. Yeah, that was about it. Yeah, okay, so Cena match? Don't let my star rating in. I know it's easy to say, but I have no, like, if, go ahead.
I almost feel like watching Sting versus Jeff Hardy.
Sting versus Jeff Hardy was over quicker.
That was it was over quicker. It
was decisive. It was decisive.
It was decisive too. You felt like there was a winner. I didn't feel like there was any winner in this.
You know what?
I would have respected them more if Rock just came out, beat the shit out of them.
That's interesting. That's actually fucking interesting. Now, let me think about that, because that guy gave Sting versus Jeff Hardy -5 stars. And was this worse than Sting and Jeff Hardy? I gotta think about that. No. Just because that was Sting and Jeff Hardy was a complete abortion of a main event. Like, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that was a match where they could have done anything differently. Like, they could have put anybody out there and had a title match, and it would have been better, and they just completely fucked it up. But was this worse than Sting? You know, that'll probably be one of the more fierce debates on this one. Was this? No, it's worth debating. Was this a bigger waste of time than Sting and Jeff Hardy? And it might have been. Just because, and well, maybe not just because, but a major reason being that this was WrestleMania.
That it's WrestleMania, and you know what? I just as soon get the pain over quick than have it drawn out. You know, the fact that they did a shitty non-match for 5 minutes. You had the count out. You had Rock come down, give a lame promo for a few minutes, only to have it start up and have that finish. Really? I mean, I'd just as soon that Rock beat the crap out of him, say ring the bell, and he get pinned. It's over quicker, and it makes the pain less.
Yeah, I still can't go -5 stars because for all the shit they did, -5 stars would be if Pee Wee Herman ran in and made the count, or if Pee Wee Herman was there. By the way,
yeah,
I can't do it.
And I'm not going there either. But yeah, I'd probably
That being said, that's like saying, was this the Holocaust? No.
I mean, how much worse, though, can I get by saying worst WrestleMania main event ever?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, that's damning enough in its own right. It doesn't matter what star. If -4, I'll go slightly worse than you.
You hated it more than I did?
-4 stars.
And now, to be fair, I'm not used to rating, so
Me either.
My rating is on a rapidly sliding scale, and is completely inconsistent and unfair, and completely biased by my own.
You've heard my first 2 ratings for any wrestling matches for these two, so I'm not good at any of this.
Do not let the fact that I said this was -3 3/4 stars in any way make you believe that, oh, this was watchable. No, this was the worst WrestleMania main event in memory. Which is a faulty memory, I will admit.
Again, because it goes back to, like, movies. There's movies that are so bad it's good. And there's some matches that are just... There's some matches that have a bunch of botches in them and they're kind of silly to watch.
No.
This is boring.
This was a boring, bad, crappy main event. It was poorly executed. Both wrestlers were having an off night, and there was bad booking. And top to bottom, it was just dull and shitty. And so, with that, we'll leave you. That was WrestleMania. We have rambled on for a long time, but until then, last thoughts?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.